So this is part 2 of the podcast with Simon from Andy's Man Club. Enjoy watching.
I take some more time out. I like to sit at home, and like if other half goes out on a Saturday night, we out with lasses or we work, I just sit in silence or just play some chilling music and just peace, because it's all about us as well. We have to look after ourselves before you take after. If we're not right, nobody else is right.
Yeah. I think that's massive, isn't it? Having that realisation, trying to be too strong all the time as men.
Yeah.
And like we've said, men are.
I think it's fine to admit that you are struggling. There's nothing wrong with saying to your support network, whoever that may be, look, I'm struggling here.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of pressure at work going on. I'm just struggling to cope with life. There's nothing wrong with just I need a bit of help.
Yeah.
I think it's not right. You're not a man no more, are you?
No,
Exactly, yeah.
no.
Man
It's like, like before when I used to, I used to get asked, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, yeah. And we carry on watching telly, then go to bed, and then that'll be it. But now I'll say, "Oh yeah, so and so talking about this." It's quite funny because she'll be watching TV and she'll just go, "Mute it, right? Go on then, right? This and this," and then I'll tell you, right, okay. Oh, by the way, and she's like muting it, then it's like, well, it's okay to talk, isn't it? It's of course, yeah. And we have a laugh and a joke about it now, but it's good because everything that I've got to say, I say it.
Yeah. And she's seen a difference, obviously.
She's seen a massive.
I mean, you've sort of answered something that popped into my mind. I can sort of see it in your face when you talk about it, because you still get a lot out of it.
I love it.
Even though you've got the responsibility to become a job, you don't see it as a job, but you get so much back from the Monday nights as well. Because that's it's like we said, it's not a magic wand you suddenly cured.
No,
life comes to knocks us with stuff all the time, and there's still, but your coping mechanisms. That's easy to say.
Yeah.
What day are we on? Thursday. Your coping mechanisms are a lot. You're more robust, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I don't mean tough robust.
No.
You recognise the triggers.
Yeah.
And I think blokes need to do that more.
Yeah.
If you just stumble through, you won't know how to handle it.
My go-to now is. We obviously create questions for a Monday night, but my go-to now, how do you relax and how do you switch off? I clean.
Yeah,
I clean.
I get that. Yeah.
Mm. I don't know what mine is.
I'm a bit of a clean freak, so
yeah,
my wife.
My relaxing time, although it frustrates me, is probably throwing my darts.
Yeah, exactly.
I could just have a relax, throw darts for half hour, and then I'll go, right, what we're having? Let's go and cook tea and walk the dogs and do the usual stuff.
Yeah,
but it's just a bit of it's a bit of me time.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, because both me and Steve predominantly work from home in our roles, and I used to say to Steve, sometimes when you used to work at a place, you drive there. You go do your work, and if you've had a bad day on site or wherever you play, you get them when you drive home. You sort of process it.
Yeah,
you get it out your system, and then you walk in the door. You leave work where work is.
Yeah,
but when you work from home,
it just takes some getting used.
I
said that to you when you first started, didn't I? And I, in a previous role before I joined NAPIT, I worked from home for another organisation, and I remember that first 6 months thinking, I've got to be back in an office for it. I need that banter, I need that kind of chatting about, and over the years, as my time as an electrician, I worked with crews of blokes. So I always had people around me where they weren't always great for that. Some of them were bullies and the rest of it, like we've all encountered, but some of them were sounding boards. I think home workers, and especially men, might become very insulated if you haven't got those outside things.
It's just what I was thinking. At least this is somewhere we can go and process your week, what was happened previously.
Another question, sorry, we may be going off a tangent that's popped into my mind, is you said that from the Monday nights, that might stem into like, Sunday we're going for a walk up and down Dale, or we're going for a swim or whatever, or do you want to join the gym with me? Do you try and steer away sometimes quite consciously from, say, let's go for a pint? Is that, and I mean that, where I'm going with that.
Sometimes,
because that could be a problem for someone.
It can, some say, if they're in that mindset where they're at, AA or whatever it is, they might steer away from it, but it creates like little pockets.
Yeah.
And, we also do big like events up and down the country, and, it gets lads involved, and, they might say, we get guys coming in saying, I'm 6 months sober, or I'm 6 months
sort of thing.
drug and alcohol free, you know what I mean? And, If they want to stand away from it, then they stand away from it. They don't have to go.
You've got to read that assignment.
You've got to read that, absolutely.
As a leader as well, going, maybe we don't offer, let's go for a beer and a game of snooker sometimes. There's a lot of other stuff going on.
There's a lot of other stuff as well. And like I say, we're not just, you don't have to have mental health issues. It might be that loneliness or GA, Gamblers Anonymous, might not work for you, or AA might not work for you. Just come and have a chat. Because there's guys there that will relate to it and that can relate to it. And you form like little pockets.
I get where you're going. So my thinking is really, it's not like those
splinter cells, so to speak.
It's not like an Alcoholics Anonymous. It's as you describe. It's a club. It's a club for just anyone. Come and have a chat.
Come and have a chat.
Yeah, there's no expectation, and
So sort of what we're talking about, like men and trades. When maybe our listeners and watchers on the video, what do you think men, and especially construction workers, what do they struggle to open up and talk about things?
They've got a lot of suicide rates.
Yeah.
Construction's hard.
I've done a lot of talks in construction, and I think it's because there's a lot of banter and a lot of it's a man thing in it, construction, and when you're up a ladder or you're building a house or whatever, you know what I mean? And you might say, how long you been doing that now? And, that guy there that's trying his hardest, that's building that wall or whatever it is, he's just had some rubbish at home. He's probably his partner's wanting to leave, or, you know what I mean? Or he's thinking, I'm struggling this month. I've got no money and I've got to get this job done. Then somebody else wants something doing on, away from his work, or, you know what I mean? And it's just, I've always said it, and I always say it, and I always get Theo to say it, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. And, you know what I mean? You never know what's going off inside people's heads. And I said it at a presentation last week, and the guy approached me and said, there's a lot of banter. He says, and sometimes there's a fine line with banter. You can either take it that way and have a laugh at a joke, or you can take it that way and go off rails and just think, well, they're laughing and joking at me. Other half's stressing me out. My mum's not really well. My dad's, whatever it is, whatever life throws at you, you still got to go to work because you've got to pay bills. And that's the thing. When that guy there is stood over you and, and chelping at you or whatever it is, you never know what's going off inside that guy's head that's trying his best, that's thinking, I just want to get home. I need to go see my mum, or I need to go see my parents, or I need to make sure little daughter's all right, or little lass is all right, or whatever it is, whatever's going off. And that's the thing. Like it's must be a lonely job being in construction. Even like a traders, you know what I mean? My other half works at Screwfix, and she's always got some wristbands and some cards, and she'll see a bloke looking at him, and she'll go, take one. And he'll go, I've been thinking about this. What is it? And she tells him as well. And he'll go, all right, yeah, I'll go. There's one at Barnsley Library. There's one there. There's one in Rotherham. There's one in Sheffield. There's one wherever. There's 315 groups. And she's like a little advocate. And it's amazing. Right, you know what I mean? And most of our followers are female. Because they're like, you need to go.
Oh, yeah. That. Yeah. They want it for their partners.
Yeah. I had a guy couple of months ago at Rotherham United, and was stood having a laugh and a joke, and this car pulled up, and we just got, get out. We're like, oh God, what's happening? And this bloke got out, and he went, I said, hey mate, you all right? And he went, it's either coming here or she's going to kick me out. And I went, come on then. You know what I mean? If you still have a laugh and a joke, he just went, I'll pick him up at 9. And shut the door and went. So at 9 o'clock, and he went, has he stayed? Yeah, he's coming out. He's been laughing and joking. Come on then, get in. And they went, and now we just have a laugh and a joke about it. And that's the thing.
That was an ultimatum.
Ultimatum.
Yeah. Sometimes it needs that.
I was about to say, sometimes the bad thing, is it?
Coming back to the site thing, Andy, because both me and you have worked on building sites for a long time. And I think And Simon, you make a really good point between that fine line between banter and bullying, and it's stepping over the mark.
Yeah.
And I think you just don't know what's going on. And I've been part of that banter on someone, and I'll be honest enough to say it, because I was always a bit like you described it, being happy-go-lucky. Always wanted to be one laughing and joking, but sometimes that went a little bit too far. You know, you might be a bit silly with it. I always got on with apprentices and trained them, but you might, the younger one, or the bloke that's a bit different. And you look back at that and think, I think it wasn't being very nice there, or wasn't being kind.
Sometimes the nicknames, because I was on site, you always had it. Sometimes, nicknames. I was always, you can imagine me with ginger hair. I was always ginger, you know, and I never minded it because I could give as good as I get. But I think you're right, and I think it is a culture of roughy-tufty construction workers, sparkies, plumbers, get out of my way, I'm working in this room, one-upmanship. It's like an extension of the playground again, isn't it?
And that guy that's working on his own, that needs to get into Screwfix, that needs to get into wherever it is, and he's thinking, I need to get to so-and-so, I need to get there, and this and that. And the phone's ringing. And he's going, mate, I'm on my way, Can I just order that? Can I have it?
Yeah.
Oh, we ain't got it. Right, I need to go somewhere else because they ain't got it. And he's thinking all the time that he's going to get it back. And then he's going to get to this other place because other place ain't got it. And then he's got to get to customers. And then customers saying, I want me done. I want it done now. I want it. I'm going on holiday or whatever it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then that guy there is in the middle and he's trying to please everybody. And he's trying to get his stuff, then get back, then get out of traffic. Then he's thinking, well, I ain't eaten yet. When do I eat? Well, if I work straight through, I'll finish at 4 and then it'll be done. And then I'll have to go back tomorrow. And then he's having to postpone that job because he's overlapped, and then he's got to come to another job, and he's thinking, am I going to pay this? And you know what I mean? Other half saying, what time are you coming home? I don't know. I'm self-employed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We've heard so many stories of the self-employed sole traders. It's so much responsibility.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think these days in construction, I mean, in my day, I mean, when I was an apprentice, you had time to do a job. So you had a crew of blokes. They were and I'd say for the majority of my time as apprentice, I worked for some really good firms. They were supportive even back then. I'm talking sort of late 80s. And I'm thinking they were a crew where the charge and the foreman looked after you, checked you were all right. You were only a young lad at the time. They moved you from job to job all over the country. But it felt, and you had time to do the project. Because look about the targets now on big construction sites. They're the shorter and shorter. They want more. Yeah. So everyone's already in a heightened state of stress. Yeah. And then like you say, that's just work. You home life, little family member, other stuff just knocking you sideways.
We see why people. We used to have it on the large jobs as well. We used to have price or piecework as well. Yeah. You know, and the blokes would be fighting over that because sometimes there weren't enough of it to go around. Yeah. You know, who gets that, and you're on day rate, I'm on price today, because potentially you can earn more money on a price than what you would on your day rate.
Yeah. It's a stressful environment. Yeah. So I can see, but I suppose with construction trades, we just need more people to be open and honest, and when they are struggling, which I suppose brings us on to, how can firms be better at that, really? How can companies have a culture of...
just, you know what I mean? Just get in touch with us. Yeah. If you want a presentation or if you want an event...
you do that for companies as well?
Emails, yeah.
Oh, wow, I like that.
Do whatever we can. Yeah. Do whatever we can, and... You know what I mean? If you want a presentation doing, absolutely, just get in touch.
That's a brilliant thing.
Well, it's like the toolbox talks on site, isn't it? Yeah. They're always about your health and safety, but obviously, why can't it be about mental health as well?
Yeah. I think firms need. I mean, we're quite lucky. I'm not just saying it because we work for them, and our gaffers probably listen and whatever. But since I've worked here, they have got a really nice family feel. Although we're a fairly big organisation now. Under the Fenner logo, and even Fenner to a certain degree, they're all about cultivating the person. And I think firms are like that, but sometimes some companies, it's what they really say and it's what they do, and their actions speak louder than words. So we have annual days. We've recently had one, didn't we?
Yeah, the morning walk or the dawn walk.
We did a dawn walk. Yeah. This year it's the Samaritans is our sponsored charity. Yeah. So very close to our hearts, similar to what you guys do, because.
We've got a Halloween event coming up to raise money.
They'll always do stuff for staff where they're trying to feed back. And I think sometimes men are guilty, probably not taking part. Oh, I don't need to do that. I'll leave that to the women, and I don't mean that from a sexist point of view, but I'll let them do that.
Yeah.
But I think the younger generation are probably a little bit more open to that. My age group, I'm in my 50s. We were very much stiff upper lip, and things aren't a problem. And no, you shouldn't moan, because that's what our parents and grandparents taught us. Wasn't it? Especially as, like you say, as a Yorkshireman, you're proud. No, we don't talk like that.
No problem with me. Yeah.
No, I think it's a good point you make about the younger generation. Hopefully, they're better equipped or skilled to recognise the triggers and to be more open and have a different culture to what we all grew up in. I think that's a positive to hopefully come out of the next generation, hopefully.
Yeah, I agree. So what we got next?
I think we'll talk about International Men's Day then. That shines a light on mental health. Why do you think it's important, and as we say, for men to have that this day? Or is that from a sexist point of view? But
no, I get you.
There's loads of different days. They do confuse me.
Yeah,
like an International Men's Day.
Yeah.
So it's from the job I do. Every day is Mental Health Day. Yeah. Every day is Awareness Day. It's not just one day, because we wanted to keep banging that drum that it is okay to talk, and you don't, even if you like showing signs of being scared or afraid, or don't. It's things when it's dark and gloomy, things aren't always that bad. There's always sunshine at the end of it.
Yeah,
there's always
some light at the end.
There's always some light at the end of the tunnel. In regards to International Men's Day, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. But from our point of view, every day's.
I think that's the key, isn't it? Yeah. But we can have these days where it
shines a light on it. It shines a light on exposure, and I think
it shines a light. And guys and companies are wanting to do something, and if that one company that's wanted to do something on November 19th, well, what about November 23rd and November 25th and November 26th?
Yeah,
guys might think, well, what about next week? What about week after? And that's how we see it as an organisation. Every week's Mental Health Awareness Week. Every day is Mental Health Awareness Day. Just because if you've done an awareness day on Monday, and then that guy then goes home, and is in tears, and he can't stop crying, and he's feeling lower than low. He then comes to work Tuesday and says, "I've had enough. I'm done. I can't do it anymore." You know what I mean? Well, you should have come yesterday because it was Mental Health Awareness Day.
Simon, something that has popped into my head again is we know the NHS system has been broken for a number of years, and doctors and nurses are under stress, the care's trying to give in. And not just the physical, we break our leg, we can get repaired, and we can't get a doctor's spot for loving one. But mental health, we all know that system. Oh my goodness, it's not non-existent. So things like Andy's Man Club are just vital to bridge those gaps, aren't they?
Absolutely.
I mean, and other organisations, to be fair. But you mentioned a little bit earlier, do you get sometimes referrals through?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. And so, if you have a CBT or your counsellor or your GP, I mean, none of our volunteers and none of us are GPs, or we train specialists or whatever it is.
You're honest about what we can offer.
About what we can offer. We do signpost guys to Samaritans.
Yeah.
But if you're going for your 6 weeks sessions to your counsellor, probably at the end of it, you're going to come out of it and think, I'm all right.
What's
not too bad. But that's it. 6 weeks. And then what? Then what happens? So normally therapists, and then he'll then say, go to Andy's Man Club. Yeah. Monday night, 7-9, just go and talk and get some rubbish off your chest. So probably up and down country, wherever it is, whichever group it is, you will get a guy that'll say, oh yeah, my therapist has told me to come, or advised me to come, or my GP said he's had some wristbands or some cards or some flyers, or there's a poster in the toilet, or whatever it is, wherever we are. I've seen it, I've picked one up, and I thought I'd come. That's everywhere. That's everywhere.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah. So how can our listeners, our members, support Andy's Man Club, because both me and Steve are wearing these badges today.
Simon brought us these.
We will
don't goodies.
We did buy some, but
we will donate.
We will donate.
Got to go to a club.
Yeah, is there donations? Is there a funding page? How is it? Because obviously it's come about.
If you want to email info@andysmanclub.co.uk and just get in touch and request a fundraising pack, which will be cards, wristbands, and some flyers. If you want to put them up wherever, if you also want to email info@andysmanclub.co.uk regarding presentations, it'll then get forward onto myself, and we can sort something out where we can show you how we are and where we are and how we were formed nine and a bit year ago. And just obviously there's like mentions of suicide, etc. Because that's why we're here today.
Yeah.
And I'll just tell you how my story and how I ended up at Andy's Man Club. And like I said, where I am now. Anything else, just get in touch. And like I said, if you want to do a fundraising, you can request a QR code or just give him page. Most of our groups are funded through guys that took their own life. Just because, we have donations get sent into office and said, my uncle so-and-so took his own life. He wanted all donations to go to Andy's Man Club. That's then funded for groups that we have to pay for. Some of our groups are given to us for free, but we know it's 2025, 2026. We know, and we understand it's day-to-day life. We don't mind paying. We recognise that. But most of our groups, like football clubs, like community hubs, like libraries, like colleges, are given to us for free because they understand.
Yeah, the bigger picture.
And you get some tea and coffee and some biscuits.
Yeah, all tea and coffee and biscuits are funded from head office. Or we know
what biscuits.
So it might be
with the biscuit situation.
Creams. It might be bonbons. It might be
the classics. The classics.
All the classics.
Oh, it's a classic. Can't go wrong.
You know what I mean? And we normally have like companies like Asda and that'll say, "Oh yeah, we want to provide a full shop."
Oh wow!
Can you send us where your nearest group is and or Tesco.
So the local communities,
champions,
they all get in there. Wow.
You imagine a bloke that says he's struggling with, I can't pay for the shopping this week. Do you know what I mean?
There's a food bank.
Tins.
Correct.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
I suppose we'll come to an end because we could talk all day.
Such an important.
So we would have to come to an end. I suppose it's probably if a listener is out there who's struggling, or someone who might be struggling, what's one bit of advice you can give them, Simon?
Break that barrier. Just break it, and then just
walk through the door.
Just walk through the door. Just come and see us. You know what I mean? For that, whatever we say, for whatever debt you're in, for whatever issues that you're going through, there's guys there, there's guys that can relate to you, and you know what I mean. And just come and see us. And like I was told 4.5 years ago, it'll be the best move you ever make. And I'm still standing and I'm still here.
Yeah. You're about to say you're proof of it, ain't you?
Simon, thank you so much for that. That's been a bit of an emotional roller coaster.
It's
been up and down, but it's really been powerful. And I really appreciate you actually sharing your story, which I know you've done time and time again, but to hear it firsthand next year, hopefully it's reached a lot of our watchers and our members. So thanks for coming in and your time to that and our freebies. We love our problems. So thank you for listening to that podcast. Hopefully that's been really useful. Please, I can't stress enough, like Simon said, if you are struggling and you're a bloke out there that doesn't feel like there's an out, there is definitely with Andy's Man Club. So go on the website, look for a club near you and just walk through that door. So that's it for now. We look forward to seeing you on the next one. So I just want to say, stay safe, stay current. And, oh no, I've got that completely wrong, but I'm just going to say try.
Bye.
Yeah.